Hello, today I want to continue on with my solder helper and I'm going to work on the knobs. So I'll show you a screen here and let's do a refresh on this. All right, here's my solder holder. Okay, and so this is one side of it, and I will be using 5/16 threaded rod for this. That's what I had sitting around. So I cut a piece in half, and I like the fit of it. And from the previous video, I showed how to make these threads and make them a little bit offset, and they seem to work great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple knobs today, and the knobs will thread onto the rod, and then have a piece on the very front that can hold my circuit board. So yeah, let's get started. So first of all, I want to, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I already have something that I know works. I don't want to resubtract and do all that fun stuff. What I can do is I can just do a simple split here. So let's go over here to split body, choose that, and we're going to split it with this plane right here. All right. And what I can do now is I can just take this and I can move it. So, or do a transform actually. So we're going to take this and we're going to transform it here. We can just XYZ, or I could just do actually by distance, and then I can grab it. Actually, go back to XYZ. There we are. I was looking for that. All right, so I want to do this. I want to pull it off, and I want to copy a part. So click that little guy right there. All right, click on that, and now we have a copied part. All right, now we can make this part, a little more round, and we can actually change the shape of it. So let's get that shape started. So I can actually unite this guy back together. Union this guy back together. Let's go to union here and here, and then that's one piece again. And I can hide this part. Click on that guy right there. I want to make it a knob so that I can twist it and easily, and it doesn't slip in your fingers. So I'm going to remove this radius right here. Oh, not that. That's a delete. Never mind. Let's remove that radius, and we're just going to go to delete face here. Delete that face. So click here, click this, click that, and click OK. All right, so now we can, we'll throw a sketch on here. Let's put a sketch right here, and I'm gonna sketch it. Actually, I gotta get back. Get on that sketch. I'm gonna hit my front view here. I'm gonna grab this, pull this down. All right, and now I wanna make, from the dead center here, I wanna make it like a star pattern almost. Let's see if I can go like an inscribed polygon here. And yeah, right there sounds good. That sounds great. So, yep. This looks good. I'll choose the size in a second, and how many sides, it doesn't matter really. Let's see how 8 sides looks pretty cool. And we can make this flat. We don't have to, but and then my overall size, let me change here. Actually, it's right there. It's 15.6. So I can actually go into, where's my dimension? There's my dimension. This guy right here, and we're gonna make this a nice even 15. Okay, 15 millimeters round. All right. So now I can hit finish here. So now I want to extrude this, and I want to actually combine these two pieces together. So what I want to do actually first is I want to make a copy of this and move it forward. I want to do something else with that in a minute. So let me grab a transform. I'm going to do a copy part, grab this guy, and we want to transform him about XYZ. Grab this, and we're just going to slide this very far forward. There we go. All right, so we're going to work on this in a minute, but right now we're going to work on this guy. So what I'm going to do now is extrude this right here. And actually, I don't want that. I want to extrude only that guy right there. That guy. There, yep, exactly. And I want to flip it, do 10 millimeters, say okay. And now it actually, let me click on there. I don't want it to merge, so I want to create new. Okay, say okay. And now we got this totally enclosed inside of this. So I want to do something called a intersect. So Boolean intersect. Grab this guy and this guy and intersect both of those. And that's my final product. That's great. I like it. And what I can do on the back side, if I don't want this to be poking, you know, I don't want the rod to come out ever, I can actually extrude that. And let's flip this. Let's do like 5 millimeters. And we can say okay. And in here, I can just tell it to delete those faces. So let's delete face, this guy, and this guy. Not necessarily that guy. Hold down Shift key to undo that. Actually, no, I don't like that. So let me try to re-extrude that back down. Can I re-extrude just the inside? No, doesn't like that. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my extrude, double click on that guy, and I'm going to just go to new, say okay. So now it's totally separate. So what I want to do now is I want to delete these faces, and they should not be combined with the other face, which is good. So now I go to delete face, not delete part, delete face right here. So one, I don't know why it selected many there. I didn't really hover over anything. So let me go back to delete face here. Delete face, that guy, this guy, rotation, that guy. Okay, so now we got that shape, and now I can combine these together. So union, this guy to this guy. And now we can add some radiuses on there and make it round and easy, you know, smooth on the fingers when you're doing it. So let's see what full round looks like. And let's edge. We'll just change the edge. So this, I want to do all of this, and I want to change it to maybe to like 5. Now we can start doing. That's a little bit too big. So let's undo those last two. Looks pretty good right there. So we'll do one more fillet. We're going to fillet each one of these edges. We're going to do it like, let's say one. Let's see what ones look like. Actually, we could probably choose everything. Yep. So we're going to click on each one of these faces. All right. And now I can modify this to a little bit more. We want it to have some flatness because I want to be able to use my fingers to hold on to it and twist it. Okay, so we'll need one of those on that side. Let's pull the part back in. So the threaded rod will be inside of here. All right, so now the very front piece, I want to actually have this some shape on the very front of that to be able to hold my PCB board. All right, so let's create a sketch on this face right here. And now we're going to do like a, I would say, let's do on a triangle. Let's create a triangle and see how that works. Let's create a line here from the midpoint and go all the way forward. And that we're going to hit L to get out of there. And now we're going to make this a construction line. So we go over here to construction. Construction line will not extrude it. It is only for reference. All right. And now I can mirror this. First, I think I'll mirror that after. First, I want to create the body. All right. So let's extrude that to that face right there. So let's do it. Oh, we can add a couple dimensions to that actually. Let's do that at least at a bare minimum. So let's take a dimension from here to here, 10 millimeters, and then we're going to tell it from here to here. It's going to be 8. There we go. 10 by 8. Good. All right. So now we can do the extrude. Grab that face right there. we're going to flip it, and we're going to change that to up to next. So it finds, well, I thought it would, up to face, and we're going to tell it which face to take it to. That face right there. I'm going to say, okay, it's going to add it. All right, so that added it, and we actually would like to do a copy of that down here. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to show my sketch. I'm going to have to go back to this extrude, and I'm going to change this to new. There we go. So now I can go to mirror. Let's go to my mirror right there. Part to mirror, this guy right here. Mirror plane. We're going to try to mirror about that, but that's not a plane. Let's see if I can choose a line. Right. Let's see if I can get this line and make like a plane. There we go. That's exactly what I want. Perfect. All right. So now that should, we put like a little notch in here. So let's go, let's create a notch right here. And we will go with sketch on this face. Let's flatten this, go top view. I flip this on us, there we go. So we got to now straight down to top. And we can zoom into that. And now we will add our, like a V cut. So we'll find like dead center here. And then we'll go out here and in. All right, and then let's put a couple dimensions on there. So here to here, 10 millimeters. And here to here, I think that was 8. Don't like that. Let's put a center line down through here. There we go. Left L to get out of that. And that, we're going to make it construction. And now we want to do 4. We're going to change this to 4 on one side. And we could do, actually undo that, Control A, Control Z actually. And then we're going to do a dimension. Here to here. And we will try to get, there we go, 4 millimeters. So now it's centered it, perfect. Enter. So now we can do a extrude, grab that guy. And flip them the other way. We're going to do a remove. And it's having a little problem. It sees that it's going through something here. So it doesn't like that. But what I can do is I can actually trim that down a little bit. Or actually what I can do is go to new. And then say okay. And now I can actually go inside. Let me hide these other parts. Not that guy. There we go. We can hide this. So left click, right click, hide part 3. All right, so now we can actually go in here and let's try to subtract this out. Let's Boolean subtract, target this guy, tool this guy. He's complaining, but let's Control Z, undo that. Let's trim that little top bit. Let's put a little radius on the edge. Let's see what happens there. We'll put a radius here. And now let's subtract. Boolean, subtract, target here, tool here. And there we go. All right, that works. So let's pull in the parts and take a look at this, see if that's what we want. So threaded rod will come through there, and we could twist this either, left or right. I'll add a couple of radii, fillets on the very front of this guy. Let's do that. And maybe change that to 1. How's that look? Maybe I want these to be a little bit bigger. Maybe I want them to come closer to the center here. So let's go back to that sketch. Where's that sketch at? That guy? Yeah, it's that guy. Let's double click on that guy. And we can change this 8. We can change him to, let's say 10. Let's see what happens when I put 10 in there. Double click on this guy, 10. It overlaps. It's actually what I want. And I want to say, okay. And there we go. So now we got those two overlapping, which is cool. And we could probably, let's add a little radius inside of there. Yeah, that looks good. So now we could rotate this guy around. You know, we could set our PCB in here. It should sit against one of these edges, I would hope. Or we could rotate this and then we could sit it onto this face if we want. So I think that's pretty good. And it's got the threaded rod inside of there. So that's exactly what we want. So threaded rod will go through all the way. On the back end, we will be able to twist and turn it. And on the front end, we can adjust the distance of it to go to our PCB. And I actually have one more piece inside of this assembly, or that will be in this assembly eventually, but it's going to be the 20 by 20 rod, and that's the rod used is it's called a 80 by 80-20. So the rod that I'm going to use is it's made by 80-20 for a copy of this, and essentially looks like that. So that there will fit inside, and I extruded that out. I actually have another copy of that. If I go to my Onshape here, I can look right here is my 80-20 aluminum. Double click on that. So this is the aluminum piece. I actually cut this into two pieces for 3D printing purposes, but this is the aluminum piece or plastic piece in my sake. I tried both, and if you at home want to 3D print this, this will work in this this assembly. So that's pretty awesome. Let me go back to this guy, solder helper. All right, I seem to have skipped this in the video, but I made a small change to the knurled knob. So it's not exactly knurled, but this will do what I want. The sketch is here. I want to show that sketch and show what I did to get there. 2 times click on that guy. So what I did is let me hide this guy right here. So left click, right click, hide part 1. We can look at this. So I just added this here notch to it. So a small little extruded piece out of it. And then I extruded it out and did some draft on it. So after that I did a circular pattern on there. So I took that shape and I decided to rotate it around 8 times 360 degrees about this circle right here, this point right here. So I used this right here. So I was able to do that, and then I unioned it together after that. Okay, and then I added some fillets to it. So these are 1mm fillets. Okay, so just to kind of show you what I was doing. All right, so let's hide the sketch right here. You can hit Y, click on that and hit Y and it gets rid of it. So now we're going to go into the assembly. I will go down here, insert new tab, and I will create a new assembly. And this is where I can start inserting my pieces. So we'll put in Part Studio 1. Just kind of click in that general area. Click in here, here's my rod. I will rotate it in a minute. And then here's my 80-20 extruded aluminum. All right, let's do this guy first. So what we will do is we will mate this to here. So let's get there. Let's planar mate. I want to put this surface onto here. And there's going to be a slight offset. I'm going to put offset of, must be a -5. All right, so I'm going to put that -0.5 offset on there. All right, and then we have this one right here is sitting flat on that edge right there. So we're going to make an offset of that. So let's do, we can do a plane mate, this face to this face, and then we can adjust that. We can do the offset. I think it's this one's possibly 0.25, negative again, enter, and then say okay, and there we are. So it adjusted it all together, so we are good to go. All right, and now we can just move this face here to be flush with that face, and that's another planar mate. So that face, let's get this, there we go, to this face, and there we are. Okay, it's shifting around. It is now got 3 mates together, so it should be just fine. It's all locked in. So now we got to rotate this guy. So let's do we can click on this and we should rotate, just click right there, grab that. Let's go to 90. It snaps to 90, which is good. To enter, let's hit escape, let's hit the space bar. And now let's poke this in and we will sit it with that flush with that edge right there. So let's do a cylindrical mate. Let's see how well this works. So we're going to choose that right there with the inner area right here. Okay, I think it chose, but it didn't. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, so okay. And that is done. Now we can just move this forward. To move this forward, we actually, oh, this is a little bit out of relation. So what we need to do is go into the main drawing. So Part Studio 1, and to move this back into position. Let's go Part Studio 1. I thought it is into position. That is strange that it's not. Okay, let's go to Assembly 2. It must have shifted these when I did a couple mates. So let's hit, let's see if we can do cylindrical on this guy. I want that flat face right there. There we go. So, yep, that's it. And I want this face right here. Say okay. All right, and it shifted that, so we can just take this and say okay. All right, we're going to click on this guy. We're just going to drag him out. All right, click, left click, and it unselected it. So I want to touch this face with this face. So let's do that. And we're going to do a planar mate. So that face with this face. Okay. Now they're kind of locked together. Now I want to do the same thing with this face. So I want to get to my planar mate. That guy right there with this front face right here. Okay. And there we are. All right, that's half of it. So now let's do the other half. All right, so now we got the one side done. So let's click on all these. Left click, left click, left click. Leave that one alone. We'll do a Control C, which is copy. Control V to paste. And now we can actually take these 3. Let's hit left mouse button. Now reselect these guys. And we can position them. Let's take it away over here. Let's do a rotation of them. 190 degree, 180 degrees. There we are. All right. Left click to get out of that. And that's strange that one didn't choose. Let me go back. Okay, let's click on all these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's rotate these guys. 180. There we go. Okay. Hit the left mouse button. Now we can take these guys and move them backwards. Actually, let's move this guy into position. Let's click on these. Okay, and we're gonna do a mate. This face with this face. And then an offset of 0.5, negative 0.5. Okay, now we're gonna do this one right here. This face with this face. And then that one is going to be an offset of 0.25, negative 0.25. Okay. And there they are. That one, something wrong with that first mate, I think. Okay, there we are. Okay, that's good. So now we can mate that last one. Let's this face here with this blue face. Okay, there we go, perfect. So now we can take these guys and we should be able to push them back. So let's do a cylindrical mate. This face. There we are. With this face. Perfect. Okay. That one stuck to it. That's good. This one for some reason didn't stick. But we can easily fix that by doing a cylindrical mate. This face with front face. There we are. It's a green check. Alright. Assembly is a little more complicated with Onshape, but doable. Here's the PCB holder, okay? And as you can see, these turn in and out. I can adjust this relatively easy. I can put in my PCB, so let's tighten this. And those threads, they do work very nicely. Okay, I can adjust that one. And yeah, so if I want to put in my board, what I would do is I can squeeze these together, hold them in the position. So that's the PCB inside of there, and it is pretty good, it's strong. It's actually holding up that right there. So this slipped a little bit, but yeah, pretty much this can, you push it together like this, it's holding it pretty well. I could fix these a little bit better, but overall I am pleased with how this turned out. So one thing you can do if you wanted to, you know, hold in position that way. Let's see. So we would squeeze in both of those, squeeze in these guys, and that holds it in, and that will, there's no falling out there. You can tilt it, you know, get it to exactly where you want it. And if you don't want it there, you know, we can, let's see, get it out of there. We can hold like in different positions. Here, we could squeeze it like that. That's a good way to do it. Yeah, holds it in position. So it's pretty tight. I think it's for what it is. It's, you know, everything's 3D printed except for this rod and this, and you can even 3D print this rod if you wanted to. So I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you what it looks like. So here is the here's a 3D printed 80 by 20. I glued two pieces together, okay, and it works good. So let's see. So if you don't want to buy this, which I wouldn't buy it if I could print it. So let's put that inside here. I didn't trim everything, so it's not perfect, and you see a little bit of extra plastic in here. Yeah, I see that extra. So that's from my brim. I'm laying it down, and it's on the brim. But anyway, it doesn't affect anything, and I can slide it inside of here. Let's readjust these guys. Let's put on the other guy, readjust this guy. Okay, and then we can put it onto the 3D printed 80 by 20, 20 by 20 square pretty much. And let's see, let's say we wanted to do it like that. No, we can't do it, but we could. Just gotta undo this quite a bit. Okay, undo that guy a little more. And yeah, we can pretty much, yeah, we can do this. So let's squeeze this guy together, and that's holding. That's pretty good. So overall, I think this project turned out really nice. I like it. Yeah, you could either use something you have laying around, which is what I did, or you 3D print it, and that works too. So yeah, so this turned out to be successful. I will use this. This is something that will be used, because I do, you know, sit there with wires, trying to solder wires on the PCBs and stuff like that. And I do have difficulty because you need an extra hand, and that's exactly what this does. So that concludes the video. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned from some of the mistakes that I made. And yeah, I hope you can build this vise, this PCB / solder helper and make it, you know, your own style. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.